Hi Sagittarius, welcome to March. This is Teresa from Tarot by T. And before I start your reading, I want to call in some good energy. So this month, we have a full moon in Virgo on March 9th. Then we have Mercury moving direct the same day. And then we have the the spring equinox. I keep saying the solstice. Spring equinox on the 20th of March. Saturn goes into Aquarius on the 21st from Capricorn. And so Saturn in Aquarius will be favorable to your sign. And then we have a new moon in Aries, which is favorable. It's supportive to your sign because it's in a fire sign like you. The new moon in Aries is going to happen on the 24th of March. And I feel like, on the spring equinox, the sun moves into Aries. But I think that the real beginning will happen at this new moon in Aries. That's when all the energies are going to be go, go, go. Because Aries energy is about taking action. New beginnings, having courage to go after what you want. And it's a good time because all the planets will be now direct for a short period of time. For at least a month, if not, until the next retrograde cycle. So let's see what we'll talk about astrology later. Let's see what the cards say about love and relationships for Sag. What does Sag need to know about love and relationships for the month of March 2020? What is coming up for Sagittarius in March of 2020? What is coming up for Sag in March 2020 in terms of love and relationships? Okay. The Seven of Pentacles. The Knight of Swords. The Tower in the past. The World. The Seven of Swords. The Ten of Swords. The Knight of Pentacles. The Ten of Cups. The Chariot. And the Eight of Swords. So this is kind of interesting. Okay. So let's see. So right now, you start the month off with the energy of the Seven of Pentacles. And this is a card of, you've planted some seeds and you're trying to figure out where this is all going to go. What's going to develop? Is this going to work out? So maybe you've started a relationship, and you're wondering if where is it going to go? Is it going to be successful? Is it going to work out? You have this Knight of Swords energy. This is a card of, you might be dealing with someone who is an air sign. And this person could be kind of unstable energy. Like they're kind of volatile, or they're kind of like they take chances with their life, right? They jump into things without thinking. They do things without thinking. And sometimes they could appear to be a little insensitive. But they don't really mean to hurt. It's just that they're so focused on their goal that they're not really aware of how their behavior is affecting others. So you could be dealing with someone that you feel is a little bit selfish or insensitive. If that's not the case, if it's not a person, then that could be something that you have to look at within yourself. Am I being single-minded? Am I not being aware of how my actions are affecting the people around me? Am I being too selfish or too goal-oriented? Where I'm just focused on my needs and I'm not thinking about others. So that could happen either in a relationship with someone else, or it could be qualities within you, because it's the blocking energy. So it could be that this energy is what's blocking whatever you're trying to get off the ground. It may be your blind spot that you need to look at. This energy has a tendency to be argumentative. Always looking for a fight, or taking more of an aggressive approach to things instead of a more of a peace-oriented or a calmer approach. So you have to look at that. For some of you, you might have to look at yourself and think, am I being too aggressive in situations, or too hostile, or too insensitive to other people? Or is this someone I'm dealing with? Because it could be someone that you're dealing with in relationship, in a partnership. Now, in the past, you have the Tower followed by the World. So your life has gone through some major change in the past. You may have, left, like something crumbled. It's like an old life just ended, crumbled. Something is crumbling, ending. And you're rebuilding. You have been in the process of rebuilding like from the ground up. So it could be a relationship that ended, and now you're starting from scratch again, or you made major changes. You've come through some major changes, either in career or in relationship. You've gone from one level to another. But the old life, it's like you've destroyed your old way of life with the Tower. The Tower, whatever the Tower takes away, if something has ended in the past, it might have even been, except for some, it could have been traumatic or shocking. For others, it could have been just the time was ripe for change, and you were embracing change, and you decided, like, I've got to change my life, I've got to make changes. And you have the World card here. So this is a great card. It means like something ended, but at the same time, it's not an ending like a disastrous ending. The World is everything starting to come together. So you could have ended one relationship and then moved into a new relationship where everything is great, like everything is coming together career-wise. You're feeling like you're doing work that you love. You found your purpose. You may have moved, because this is also a card of travel. It's a card of completion. You've completed a cycle in your life. And now it's time to move to the next level. And this is... So maybe you're wondering, okay, I've arrived at this place. What's going to be next? So if you formed a relationship, maybe you left one relationship, moved into another relationship, or you committed to a relationship, so you ended one way of life and you're starting a new life as a married person, or a new life, or if you were in a relationship and it ended, maybe now you're starting a new life as a single person. Whatever it is, there's one thing ended. A dramatic ending, dramatic change, and now you're on this new. So whatever has been, it's almost like whatever had been taking up a lot of your time, is going to be fading as things start to come together. But with the World, though, it's great energy. It's not a bad. It's a great card because it represents completion, the results of hard work, the results of your efforts. So a lot of times it comes up when we've been working toward a goal for a long time, when you have this dream and this goal and this vision, and then you finally achieve it, and now you're existing in a state of grace. Whereas, like, I finally arrived. This is what I've been meant to do. This is the person I've been meant to be with. So everything has been working out. This is a recent past. But now what's concerning me, though, and it's kind of confusing, is the Seven of Swords and the Ten of Swords. So I feel that with the Seven of Swords, that's a card of someone not being honest, or someone not telling the whole story. So you could be dealing with someone who is, you may feel they're not being honest with you or transparent with you. Like they may say one thing to your face and then say another thing behind your back. Or you could feel that someone is taking credit for the work that you do. If it's a relationship issue, you may feel that a partner is not being loyal, or they have a secret that they're not telling you everything. They're not, like, it's like you're not, there's something that's not being faced. And it doesn't mean that the person's cheating either. The Seven of Swords can mean the Thief card, where you feel like someone's stealing something from you or someone's trying to take something away from you. But it could also mean that you're not willing to face certain things in the situation. So it could have different meanings depending on your specific situation. For some of you, you might be not willing to face the problems in a relationship and you're sweeping them under the rug. For others, you could feel like, hey, I'm being victimized by someone here. I don't think you're being, you say you're my friend or you say you love me, but you're acting in a different way. So I'm not sure if I can trust you. It's that kind of energy. You may feel that someone that you're dealing with is not honest, is being dishonest. And you have this Ten of Swords here. You're getting to the end you're getting to a situation where you feel like I'm going to have to take a stand one way or another, and I might feel like not giving this any more energy. So there could be a relation that you might be breaking, some of you might be breaking a relationship because you feel like the person that you're dealing with is not being honest. Now, on the other hand, in your environment, though, you have this Ten of Cups. So there is someone in your environment that loves you. I mean, so some of you, you're feeling at home. Maybe this is a career thing that you're going through. Because I feel like your home environment, there's someone who loves you. You feel loved and supported. But there is something going on this month that you have to think about. You might decide, and with this Knight of Swords energy, you might decide to make a quick departure. If something's not working out the way you thought it was going to work out, if you feel like you're not being treated fairly, or you feel like someone, like whatever you were promised is not being delivered, you may feel betrayed with the Ten of Swords, or you may feel defeated, and you may decide, I'm just going to move on to something else, or I'm just going to get out of this situation because it's not serving me, or I'm not going to give this any more energy. Maybe something has been draining your energy, and it's preventing, and you're not facing it. So there's something that you need to face in March. It could be your own behavior, or it could be the behavior of someone else. So you might have to have a conversation with someone about what's going on. Like, come on, let's talk. Let's lay our cards on the table. What's really happening here? You have the Chariot. This is a card of victory through discipline and focus. It's a card of travel. Maybe your energies have been too scattered. You've been doing too many things at once, and you need to zero in on one goal or one dream. So if you feel like you've been spreading too thin, maybe you need to drop some projects. Maybe you're overworking yourself, and it's affecting your performance. You have the Page of Pentacles here in your negative thinking sector. So you could be dealing with an earth sign or an air sign. This is someone, and it could also mean if you started a new relationship, it could be like the beginning stages. And maybe, I feel like for some of you, you have come through a difficult ending in a relationship. Maybe the person was cheating, or maybe they weren't being honest with you, and you decided to let that person go. And you might be meeting someone new that you could have a relationship with, but you're kind of uncertain because of what you've gone through. But there's Ten of Cups. This represents love. So I feel like you're destined to be loved and to feel secure in a relationship. Maybe you just have to figure out where you need to focus your energy. So if you're spending a lot of time dealing with someone who's difficult, maybe you need to let go of that person. Maybe you need to stop giving that so much energy and focus on the people who love you. Focus on the people who are giving you love and support. Not focus on the troublemaker or the high maintenance person. Because you have the Eight of Swords here. This is a card of fear, feeling trapped, feeling stuck. Like, I can't move out of my situation. I have to deal with it. So you might be in a situation that you're not really happy with, but you feel like you don't have any options. You can't walk away in a relationship. But really, there's no one, you can walk away from anything. It's just a matter of making that decision. And even though it may be difficult, you can do it. But I feel like you still have love here. So it could be a new relationship that can give you the love you need. If you're existing in a relationship where you're not feeling the love, there could be a new relationship on the horizon. You may reach a point where you decide, I've taken all I can take. I can't take anymore, and I need to move on. And there could be a relationship in the wings that can give you the love you need. But you're going to have to overcome your fears of moving out of, like, whatever's stopping you from moving toward this relationship. Because I feel that you're not facing the truth. You know, it's like almost, you're not facing the truth of you're not facing the problems, and it may build up to a point where the pressure gets released in an explosive way, and then, you know, you decide, I'm just out of here, you know, I've had enough. So that's the energy I'm seeing with love this month. It's kind of like something ends, but then something else begins that may be a better fit. So it's not, all is not lost, because if something ends, you know, the Tower doesn't take away anything that you really need. The Tower wants you to live your best life. So if something is ending, it's because it's time for it to end, and because you deserve more, and you need to live out your potential. So don't hold on to something that's not giving you what you need out of fear. Reach for the 10 of Cups, because that's where you need to be. So take time out to discipline yourself and focus and think about, what do I really want? You know, in a perfect world, where would I be? What kind of relationship do I need? And don't settle for less, and let go. Let go. Because the one good thing about the 10 of Swords, whatever you've been struggling with, it's coming to an end. So you're going to reach a point of crisis where something, you realize, you're going to see the truth, and you can make changes then. And sometimes when these two cards come together, the 7 of Swords can represent an unexpected apology. So maybe someone that you've been dealing with, if you've been dealing with someone who's difficult, you may reach a point where you're at the, like, I'm going to walk away from this relationship, I can't take anymore. And just at the moment that you decide, like, I'm out of here, that person has a wake-up call, and they apologize for their behavior, and then you can create a new beginning with the same person, you know, once you resolve your, once you lay your cards on the table and resolve your problems. Because I feel that even though things might be difficult, the person that's involved in this situation cares. They're just a little bit immature, maybe a little insensitive. So you need to have, you know, you need to come to that crisis moment where you lay your cards on the table and say, look, this has to change or I'm out of here. You know, it may come to that. And then that person, if they really love you, they're going to be like, okay, I don't want this to end. Let's work on it. Let's change. Let's make this work. So that could be some of the outcomes. So for some of you, that could be the outcome. For others, you could decide, like, I'm just moving on. Whatever it is, it's going to come to a head and it's going to end so that you can then start a new cycle in a better direction. And that could be either with that person that you're dealing with or with someone new. So let's see what the astrology has to say. So you have a full moon happening in your 10th house. So this is the house of career and the house of status. So something is coming to light, and this also involves the 4th house, so house of home. So there's a balance between work and family at this full moon. Are you giving too much service? Are you sacrificing too much for your career and not paying attention, not giving enough attention to people at home? This is where, the sun is conjunct Neptune at this full moon. So there could be some things that you're not seeing in your family, in a family relationship. So it could be a committed relationship or something having to do with your family. Because Neptune could represent, when Neptune comes together with the sun, you could be dealing with someone who has some kind of drinking or drug problem. You could be dealing with someone who has some kind of mental issue. You could be over-glamorizing someone you know, thinking that they're like so wonderful, and then, you know, you're finding out they're not as great as I thought they were, you know. You're starting to see, because Neptune is the planet of glamour and illusion as well, but it's also the planet of spirituality. So for some of you, you could be dealing with someone who's very spiritual, you know, is on a spiritual path. For others, if it takes the flip side of Neptune, it could be all the things I just mentioned. So, but whatever is happening, you're going to see the truth at this full moon. And this full moon is in Virgo and Pisces. Like the moon is in Virgo, the sun's in Pisces. So this is squaring Sagittarius. Okay, it's forming a difficult aspect to your sun. So you could have a blow to your ego at this time. Like, it's time to, you're going to feel tension around this full moon. Because you have to see that you may have to make some changes that you don't feel comfortable with. You may have to get out of your comfort zone when you see the truth of what's going on. And you may have to be a little bit more humble to resolve the conflict, if there's a conflict. And be willing to work, you know, meet someone halfway. Now, at the same time, Mars is in the second house. Mars is trining this full moon. So, and this is in your second house. And you have Pluto and Saturn there also. And the nodes are also in your second house. The nodes are in, let's see, the second and eighth. So they're triggering, the nodes are triggering money and resources. And the second house also has to do with self-worth issues. What do I value? So you could be working really hard with Mars and Saturn in your second house. Your expenses might be higher, and you might be working hard to bring in more income. But you're also going to be evaluating, you know, am I making enough money? Am I being paid what I'm worth? Am I getting the love that I deserve? So these issues are going to come up around this full moon. And if the answer is yes, you know, you might be like, yeah, I need more money. And you're going to be really ambitious. Mars brings ambition, especially in Capricorn. Pluto brings transformation. So the way you earn your money is going to transform in a major way. Jupiter brings opportunity to connect with people from different cultures. So you may have global connections. And Saturn is like taking responsibility. Like you really have to get serious about your money this month. So you have to create a budget, create a financial plan, create a strategy to bring in more income if you feel like you need more money. But also, you have to work on you and how you feel about yourself. Am I letting people treat me poorly? You know, am I being treated properly? Am I, you know, because the second house, it's what do I need to feel secure? Do I need love? Do I need money? Do I need material things? All these things are going to be, you're going to be really thinking about them. And you might be deciding to take action. Like if the answer is no, I'm not getting enough love. No, I'm not getting enough money. You're going to take action to change that. The only thing you want to be careful, and that could also be this Knight of Swords, because this person, the Knight of Swords energy is taking, like, just jumping into something without thinking. Like, I just want to change. I don't care how, you know, I just have to make changes. So you don't want to do anything impulsive around this time. You want to look realistically at your situation and develop a strategic plan, but check all the facts. Don't just jump into something without looking deeply into, you know, the consequences. And everything will be fine. Also this month at the full moon, Venus is moving into Taurus. And that will be on the 5th of March. And when Venus moves into Taurus, it's going to hook up with Uranus. And this is happening in your 6th house of work and service and also health. So there could be unexpected developments at work, in your work environment. For some of you, it could bring in money unexpectedly. Maybe you get a raise or money comes in unexpectedly. Or it could even be a new romance. You might find yourself attracted to someone at work. So if you're in a relationship and it's having problems, you might be finding yourself looking around and saying, well, maybe I need somebody else in my life. Or maybe, I don't know, because with Venus and Uranus. Venus rules love and money. And Uranus rules surprise and freedom. So Uranus wants to free you from anything that's been holding you back, from anything that's oppressive or stagnant, so that you feel more alive. So it could also mean that you're doing something that involves creativity, that your work changes, and you're working on projects that are more creative. You're getting along better with coworkers, because Venus in the sixth house represents the people you work with. But I wouldn't be surprised for some of you if you find some type of romantic attraction happening at work. So just be careful if you're committed. But if you're not, if you're single, go for it. It could be exciting. But yeah, the issues this month are going to revolve around career, home, work-life balance, and also money. Am I doing enough? Am I getting enough? Do I need to take action to bring in more security for myself? You're looking for security this month, both financially and also in love. So if something is not giving you what you need in that way, you might be making some changes. So then you have the new moon in Aries, and this is happening in your 5th house. Now the 5th house is the house of children. It's the house of creative self-expression. It's the house of romance, sex, love, like when you first start out, it's the beginning stages of a relationship. So you could be starting it. Some of you, if you're not involved with someone, you could be starting a relationship unexpectedly at the end of the month around this new moon. Because Venus will be trining Jupiter, Pluto, and Mars. And Venus will be sextile Neptune. And that's going to be affecting your 2nd house. So you could attract someone that really makes you feel secure, that's giving you what you need. Whether it's love or money, they might be financially stable. Maybe if you were involved in the past with people who weren't financially healthy or stable, this will be different. And it could come through some of your work connections. And you have Mercury sextile. Yeah, you're going to be having Mercury is sextile Uranus at this time. And that's, you're going to be very creative. When Mercury is sextile Uranus, it generates, creative solutions to problems and creative ideas, creative communication. So if you're doing any kind of writing, it could be a creative time for you. You might be writing at home. Maybe have some home-based business and you're doing a lot of writing. And it's just giving more, it's giving another added dimension to your life. So if your work has become boring and routine, this could be a way of bringing more excitement, bringing more creativity, bringing more, where you can show your genius, where you can show your abilities. Saturn's going to be moving into Aquarius, and that's going to be in your 3rd house. So that when Saturn moves into Aquarius, then you're going to be dealing with issues around communication, around brothers, sisters, aunts, uncles, relatives, your neighbors. You may have more communication with them, or you might have differences of opinion over ideology with your neighbors or your family. But we'll get to that later. But it is changing signs. So whatever heaviness that you felt in your financial sector will be lifted when Saturn moves into Aquarius. So you've been struggling over the past 2.5 years with financial matters. Maybe your bills are up, you're managing a lot, you have a lot of expenses. You've had to really get serious about the money that you earn and how you're spending. You might have had to take a second job or, do things to bring in more money. Now, Saturn's only moving into Aquarius just for a few months, and then it's going to go back into Capricorn at the end of the year, and then it'll go back into Aquarius for good by December of this year. So you're just getting a taste of what life will be like when Saturn's in the 3rd house. But Saturn in Aquarius is favorable to your sun, so it should be a good influence. It could bring added stability to your life. So when Saturn was in Capricorn, once it moves out of Capricorn, you're going to feel a little bit like the weight has been lifted. So there could be some unexpected money coming in that gives you a sense of, oh, good, now I can pay these bills. Or, now I feel more comfortable with my financial situation. You're at the end of the line. with the Ten of Swords. So you can't go any further. You know, like, so it's whatever you've been struggling with is ending. And so embrace the love that's in your life, and don't let fear hold you back from claiming it. If something needs to end, let it end, because you're making room for something new to come in that's a better fit for you. So that's my forecast for March, Sag. I hope you enjoyed this reading. If you did, please click on the like button, or subscribe to my channel, or leave a comment below. And thank you everyone who has been supporting my channel and with your likes, your comments, and your readings, ordering readings. And if you'd like a private reading, click on the link in the description box and we can get you on the schedule, and I can give you a reading based on your specific situation. And if you're new, welcome. I hope you're enjoying the videos. And thank you everyone who has been a loyal fan. I appreciate all of you. So have a wonderful March, and I will talk to you again next month, Sag. Okay, bye now.